Hey guys, today I'll show you a vampire horror film called Shadow of the Vampire. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and take care. The movie begins with a shot of a unique design, and it slowly zooms in while fading into other designs at the same time. The credits begin rolling in the middle of a highly artistic sequence. After a strong series of visual depictions, we realize these artistic images are actually showcasing a deadly war that took the lives of many. With that, we see a suspicious demon face, after which the shot zooms out. Now we're taken to the year 1921, where a brilliant German filmmaker named Murnau is refused by the estate of Bram Stoker to make a movie on his novel named Dracula. However, Murnau is a smart goose, so he simply changes the name of the vampire to Count Orlok and calls his film Nosferatu in order to avoid copyright infringement. It was this very decision that established Murnau as one of the greatest directors of all time. Now we move to a studio where a passionate eye stares at us. Then we move to the making of a film where a sexy woman named Babe is playing with her kitty cat. Murnau is directing the scene, and he offers comments to Babe in order to aid her acting. All of this is to establish the tone of the scene, and then Murnau calls cut. He asks his co-workers if the necessary arrangements have been made to shoot the rest of the film in Czechoslovakia. This happens to be a very expensive process, but Murnau still wants to take the risk because he wishes to make something that meets the standard of Daniel CC Movie Channel. Babe is upset because she doesn't want to leave Berlin for the shoot. She states that she has lots of offers for plays in the city, but Murnau asks her why she would want to act in a play when she can act in a film. Babe says that the camera takes the essence away from her performance and even considers quitting, but Murnau manages to convince her that this role will change her life forever. He prepares to go somewhere, so his co-workers wonder if he's leaving for a hormone appointment. Their guess is correct, as the scene shifts to a hormone party where Murnau is also present. A producer shows up later to ask about the progress of the movie, but he is shocked to learn that Murnau has been hiding a lot of details from him. One of these details is that the actor playing Dracula is called Shrek, and he will only appear in full makeup when he is with the crew. On top of that, Shrek will only shoot in the night, so the producer is visibly angry. That's when the lead actor tells him that there's nothing he can do about it. Now, everyone gets set to leave Berlin, and reporters gather around the producer to ask him about details of the film. He simply says that Murnau is the greatest German director to have ever lived, and he is planning everything with careful precision. However, the producer doesn't reveal any other information to the smelly reporters. As the train sets off on its journey, Murnau takes us all on a philosophical trip as he starts talking about him being a scientist who is engaged in the creation of memory. After his lengthy speech, the cast and crew get off the train and take some cars to move to their shooting location. The team notices a bottle, which is filled with something suspicious. It looks like blood, but they leave it be and eventually reach their temporary residence, which is a creepy hotel. Here, Murnau and the others sit down for a meal, but Murnau tells his cameraman that he will have to operate with limited capacity. A script girl asks him about the extras, but Murnau says that he will use the people in this hotel. The script girl argues that they are not actors, but Murnau states that he only wants them to be and not act. Later in the night, the lead actor goes to meet the cameraman, but finds him in a terrified state, almost as if he's seen a ghost. He goes to sleep, and then we see someone giving a ferret to a spooky vampire man, possibly for a meal. The next day, Murnau begins his shooting and directs the lead actor who's playing Babe's husband in the movie. Everything seems to be going well, but then the landlady enters the frame and Murnau gets upset. The landlady is bothered by the fact that Murnau has removed all the holy crosses from the hotel for shooting purposes. She fears that something unholy will happen as a result of this, but she is told to calm her Holy Spirit. The shooting proceeds just as planned, and we move to then nighttime, where the lead actor is supposed to enter a creepy castle. Murnau carefully directs the lead actor to enter the castle, but the producer is upset because there is a clear violation in his agreement with Murnau. This is because the castle was included into the film without his consent. Regardless, Murnau calms him down and proceeds with the shoot. Suddenly, Shrek shows up in the form of Dracula and acts quite genuine. The lead actor is scared like a chicken, but is told to continue with his performance. He follows Shrek inside, and then Murnau cuts the scene because he's got the perfect shot. It's time to wrap up and go home, but the producer realizes that Shrek is not from any acting agency. Murnau confesses that he found Shrek randomly and has allowed him to operate freely without any interference. The cameraman enters a tunnel which leads into Shrek's castle, but is found on the floor later. Shrek watches on with malice as the cameraman is taken away from the scene. He is brought back to the hotel, and the landlady seems to fear the presence of vampire Lord Dracula, but Murnau tells her to shut up her smelly mouth. The cameraman gets treated, and then the shoot carries on. Shrek shows himself to the cast, and they are visibly scared to see him. However, Murnau reassures them that Shrek is a method actor. It's time to play out a scene where the lead actor is trying to get Shrek to sign a document for a real estate deal. Murnau directs the scene with grace, but Shrek keeps going off script and makes things difficult. He even identifies Babe's picture in a locket that falls out of the lead actor's bag, but Murnau says he's not supposed to know about her in the film. He cuts the scene and has the film's writer explain the tone to Shrek. He gets a hang of it, and the scene continues in awkward fashion, but Murnau manages to get a strong performance out of him. Despite this success, the cameraman seems to be growing weaker, probably because of something to do with Shrek. At night, the crew talks about Shrek being shady, but Murnau vouches for him yet again. Later, we see Shrek with someone whose face is not revealed. This person gives Shrek the bottle, which was suspected of having blood in it, and then he hints that he is indeed Dracula himself. Shrek talks about how he used to feed from golden chalices, but has now been reduced to a rat. The next day, filming continues, and Murnau tries to create some tension between the lead actor and Shrek as they act out a scene together. The lead actor accidentally cuts his finger and triggers Shrek with the sight of blood, but Murnau seems to be pleased with the result. However, Shrek attacks the lead actor, probably because of his vampire genes. The lights go out, and Shrek takes this as an opportunity to attack the cameraman, who falls to the floor. Murnau isn't pleased with the way things are going, but the producer is even more furious. He orders for everyone to get out immediately and leave the equipment unattended for now. Murnau tells Shrek to stay here, so he decides to explore the equipment in front of him. He starts rolling the camera and takes a look at the footage of sunrise, which is something he would normally never be able to see. This makes Shrek fascinated by technology, so he explores the camera some more. Now, Murnau gets into an argument with both the producer as well as the writer. He shows no remorse and is ready to replace the cameraman because he doesn't want to halt the production. Writer is about to give him a piece of his mind, but the producer calms him down, and then Murnau leaves the scene. The cameraman is still struggling, so Murnau confronts Shrek over attacking him, but he remains unaffected. We learn that the mysterious man helping Shrek is actually Murnau himself, because he knows that Shrek is a vampire. Murnau needs his crew to complete the film, but Shrek says that he cannot film some scenes that are on a ship, and also the finale, which is away from the castle. Murnau gets angry at Shrek because this was not part of their agreement. Basically, Murnau is supposed to give Babe to Shrek as payment for him acting in the movie. He threatens to keep Babe away from Shrek, so he agrees to shoot the ship scenes and the finale, but with some compromises. Murnau doesn't want his crew to be harmed and threatens to end Shrek, even though he is immortal. Murnau walks away, and Shrek looks at the locket, which has Babe's image in it. In order to accommodate Shrek's demands, Murnau orders for a duplicate ship to be made around Shrek's castle. At night, the producer and writer have a drink together and talk about Babe's nude body. That's when Shrek shows up and starts drinking with them. He talks about how he's upset with the book on Dracula because it seems to have a lot of inaccurate information. It turns out that Dracula hasn't had any servants in over 400 years, and he was never able to turn humans into vampires. Writer asks Shrek how he became a vampire, so he says it was because of a woman he met centuries ago, but he has now forgotten her face because of his age. Of course, both the producer and writer think that Shrek is still in character, but he's actually telling the truth about his own life. Shrek snatches a bat and feasts on its blood, after which he takes another sip of alcohol and walks away. Now we see Shrek attacking a crew member and throwing him off the ship with no regard for what Murnau told him. In the middle of this, Murnau manages to keep his investors invested in the film, and he brings back a replacement for the cameraman named Big G. The crew welcomes him to the set, and then Big G flexes his big muscles, after which he tells them about slow-motion shooting. This impresses everyone, including the producer, who happily welcomes him into the team. It's time to shoot a scene, and we see the lead actor lifting a coffin lid to reveal Shrek. Murnau is happy with the scene, and then Big G has a word with Shrek because he is fascinated by his appearance. However, Shrek doesn't enjoy Big G's presence, so he tells everyone to carry on with the shooting. After some shots of rats breaking out of a cargo box, we see Shrek rising from the floor to give Murnau yet another perfect shot. The film continues, as does the tension, and all that's left now is the finale. Babe finally makes an appearance in front of the crew with her good boy dogs and acts like a total diva. Big G seems to know her from before and tries to flex his muscles to attract her hormones, but Babe reduces him to a small G with her diva behavior. Shrek senses Babe's presence and he wants to feast on her, but Murnau tells him to control his vampire hormones. He explains that Shrek will be with Babe during the final scene so he can do as he pleases with her when that happens. Shrek states that this film is no longer under Murnau's control, so he gets choked with rage. However, this seems to please Shrek, so Murnau runs away before he gets any creepy ideas. The crew is now led to Shrek's coffin by Ryder, who is of the opinion that Shrek is indeed a vampire because he ate the bat in front of him. The producer doesn't believe his words and says whatever happened earlier was because of the alcohol they had consumed. Big G doesn't care about such talk, so he goes for a hormone yoga session with the script girl. Later, we see Shrek slowly approaching the hotel, but suddenly, Babe starts screaming in her room in a chicken voice. The producer and Big G check up on her chicken body, but Big G sees that she's been high and dry due to the medication, so he locks the door and leaves so that he can continue with the script girl. However, Shrek reaches the hotel and he tries to break into Babe's room. Luckily, Ryder finds him, so Shrek has to keep his calm. He finds Big G and the producer together, but a door opens up to reveal light, so he runs away. Big G and the producer break into Murnau's room because he's laced himself with laudanum, and that's when he reveals that Shrek is a vampire. Murnau also confesses that he's promised Babe to Shrek, so Big G and the producer realize they have to stop him. It's nighttime, and Babe appears for the finale with Murnau, Big G, and the producer in attendance. Shrek suddenly shows up and creeps Babe out with his spooky appearance. Babe notices that Shrek isn't casting a reflection on the mirror, so she starts screaming in a chicken voice. Big G and the others calm her down by injecting laudanum inside her body. This puts Babe to have a sexy sleep, and then Shrek is filmed feasting on her. The laudanum in Babe's blood makes Shrek fall asleep, so Big G and the producer wait for sunrise. They lift the door to let the light in, but we learn that Shrek had cut the chains to the door, thus trapping everyone inside for now. Shrek wakes up, so Big G shoots him with his gun, but it doesn't do any damage. Shrek proceeds to twist Big G's neck, ending his big life, and then he chokes the producer as well. Despite this, Murnau is unmoved, and he completely ignores the corpses in front of him. Instead, he makes Shrek feast on Babe some more, as he films everything due to his obsession with the movie. Ryder and the other crew members arrive in the nick of time and lift the door to kill Shrek with sunlight. However, Murnau has gone completely insane, and he doesn't stop till he can call cut. The movie ends with Murnau believing he's made the perfect film. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.